This is a presentation about Turking in the course Social and Collaborative Computing, and we are Anders, Andreas, Christopher, and Peter. We are basing our presentation on these three articles. The first one is Being a Turker by Martin et al. The second one is Turk Life in India by Gupta et al. Who are the crowd workers? Shifting Demographics in Mechanical Turk is the third article by Ross et al. And the general term Turking comes from Wolfgang von Kempel's automaton, which is a chess playing machine which beat the likes of Napoleon and Benjamin Franklin. They thought it was fully automated, but in reality there was a person inside the machine playing chess against them. So Mechanical Turk is a microtask marketplace, which is a place where you can crowdsource microtasks. These microtasks include image tagging, duplicate recognition, translation, transcription, etc., etc. These tasks are often considered invisible work, as the performer of the task doesn't get any real recognition for the work. It is also called artificial intelligence, as it isn't artificial intelligence, but it often seems that way, as it is a task that you just ask someone to complete and you don't think about the steps it takes to complete the task. So it almost seems like it's completed by a computer. These tasks are called human intelligence tasks, or HITs, and it is requested by a requester and completed by a contributor. There is around 50 to 100,000 HITs at any time and about 400,000 contributors. A task pays around 1 cent to a fee a little bit bigger than that, but it's a very minute fee. The usual contributors come from United States of America or from India. So let's have a look at the demographic of the Turkers. The Turkers are primarily from the United States, and in the United States it is mostly females in their 30s, and they're more often than not less educated, which means that they don't have a bachelor degrees or higher. However, there's also an increasing number of Indian males in the 20s who started Turking, and these Turkers are usually more educated than their United States counterparts. Approximately, they make $2 an hour Turking, which is less than the minimum wage in both India and America. Even in India, it is less than 75% of their minimum wage. Indians also make less than Americans, almost $1 less an hour, and this is due to some factors that we'll explain later on. And it's also worth noting that this survey is from 2009, which means that some of these things have changed since then. The Turkers have their own community board called Turker Nation, where they discuss requesters and their tasks. They have a Requesters Hall of Fame in which they rate their requests and they discuss how the pay was, they discuss the assignment, and they give feedback. It is important to note that the paid workers are not just an API call, which is why there is this relationship between the requester and the contributor, and sometimes the requester builds a small community of contributors where they help train them to complete their tasks, and they invite them to do their task before anyone else. There's also a reputation management on the Mechanical Turk website, which means that you have to get a certain approval reputation before you can complete certain tasks. This changed the behavior of some of the Turkers, where they choose not to do some tasks because they don't want their reputation rate to get worse, and they learned how to optimize which task they complete to make the most amount of money and get the best approval rate. There's also the issue of market regulations. As of right now, there is none. It is a market that regulates itself, which is one of the reasons that the hourly wages are lower than the minimum wages in regulated businesses. But in general, there's a lot of people who don't want market regulations on both sides, as it would make the demand much lower as well. This also comes with some ethical issues. The Martin et al. Article mentions money as the primary motivator for the Turks. However, since the hourly wage is so low, there must be some other motivators. They looked into the community board of Turker Nation, and some of the comments include a woman who likes sitting in her sweats at home while working. And one Turk mentioned that he can work in slow period at his day job to make extra money, and he even mentions that his boss allows him to do this. One Turk mentions that the relationship with the contributors is also an important factor, and he mentioned that he has fun working and he learns an incredible amount by doing these tasks. And lastly, one Turk mentioned that it is work he can do while watching TV in the background, and he actually doesn't have to think much while completing these tasks. So even though the pay rate is really bad, it is still money you make when you're not working hard. Gupta et al. Looks at some of the limitations for Indian workers, which mean that they have a lesser earning potential than the American Turkers. Some of the reasons for this is computer literacy. They don't have as advanced a country when it comes to computers, and a lot of Turkers aren't as efficient with using computers, such as typing fast or using shortcuts, etc. Also, most tasks are in English, and since English is a secondary language or a third language to many Indians, they also have some difficulties there. They don't have as much access to computers and internet. Some people go to internet cafes to complete the tasks, and the internet might disconnect at any moment, again hindering them in completing a task they have started on. So all of these factors are some of the reasons why Indians make almost $1 less on average an hour compared to Americans. So when we talk about Turking, there's a range of different relationships and communities within this Turking. So it is an online activity, but it's not isolated in any way. First of all, you have this contributor relationship with the requester, and then you have the Turkers who have their own community board, but also offline they have family and friends where they share work with each other, and they will accept and they will share their accounts, and they will accept work on each other's behalfs, and sometimes they will call their friends if a good task come up, even if it's in the middle of the night. And you also have these friends and family introducing other people into the Turking community by training them on how to complete tasks and teaching them what it's like being a Turker.